The auctioneer's voice cracked like dry thunder over the junkyard lot. "Sold! $40 to the fella in the faded camo jacket." Jack Harlan froze, his calloused hands still raised, eyes locked on the hulking beast before him, a Sherman tank, half buried in weeds, its turret twisted like a forgotten promise from World War II. Rust flaked off in sheets, but that wasn't what snagged his breath. A faint shimmer winked from the cannon barrel, gone in a blink. Jack slung his toolbox into the bed of his battered Ford pickup, the engine coughing to life under the relentless Texas sun. $40 for a tank. He'd come for scrap metal to fund another month's rent on his double-wide trailer, not some relic from his army days. 20 years since he'd crawled out of desert foxholes, trading M4s for wrenches in oil fields. Now at 48, the sheiks came uninvited at night, ghosts of patrols that never quite left. He winched the tank onto a flatbed trailer he'd borrowed, chains groaning against the weight. Neighbors watched from porches, muttering about the crazy vet hauling junk that could crush a barn. As he towed it home through the dusty back roads of West Texas, dust devils swirling like warnings, Jack couldn't shake that glint. What kind of fool buys a tank? He did because the yard sale ad promised military surplus, as is. If you love stories that uncover hidden fortunes and keep you guessing, hit that subscribe button now. Share this with a friend who needs a thrill and drop a comment below. Where are you watching from today? The trailer rattled over potholes, the tank shifting with a metallic scrape that set his teeth on edge. By dusk, he dragged it into his overgrown lot, floodlights buzzing to life. Mosquitoes hummed as he circled the beast, flashlight beam dancing over pitted armor. The cannon loomed, barrel aimed skyward like a defiant ger. He wedged a crowbar in, prying at the breech mechanism rusted shut for decades. It budged with a screech, flakes raining down. Inside, not shells or debris, but something smooth, heavy, catching the light again. His pulse thrummed in his ears. Jack fetched his angle grinder, sparks flying in the night, as he sliced through welds no scrap dealer had bothered with. The cannon cap gave way, tumbling free. He peered in, breath shallow. Bars, gold bars stacked tight, stamped with faded eagles and dates from 1944. He pulled one out, solid, cold, heavier than any ingot he'd imagined. His mind raced. Nazi gold? Smuggled post-war? Legends whispered around VFW bars about convoys lost in the Atlantic, washing up in odd places. This tank, auctioned from a forgotten ranch, held maybe dozens. He counted under the truck's headlights. 37 bars, each gleaming with impossible promise. At current prices, that was north of 300 million. Jack's hands trembled, not from the shakes this time, but raw calculation. His trailer payment? Forgotten. The foreclosure notice crumpled in his pocket? Irrelevant. But then headlights pierced the dark. 2 sets, slow rolling from the road. A black SUV and a pickup, engines idling like predators. Jack ducked behind the tank, heart slamming. Who knew? The auctioneer, a bidder he'd outbid. He grabbed his old service pistol from the cab, unloaded, but the weight comforted. Footsteps crunched gravel. "Harlan, we saw your toe. That tank's got history." The voice was smooth, East Coast accent, not local. 2 men emerged, silhouettes broad, one flashing a badge that caught the light. Federal, private collector. Jack's army instincts kicked in. Assess, evade, survive. They circled, beams sweeping. "Hand it over nice and we walk away, friends." Jack slipped to the tank's flank, mind whirring. Sell it quiet. Melt it down. The gold burned in his grip, a siren call laced with chains. He revved the Ford silently, plotting his exit as shadows closed in. The night thickened, secrets uncoiling from rust and greed. Jack gripped the wheel tighter, the Ford's engine humming low like a predator in wait. Headlights pierced the fog-shrouded junkyard, 2 sets, slicing through the midnight haze. Who were they? scrap dealers with night shift regrets, or something sharper, drawn by the cannon's unearthed gleam. His pulse synced with the idling rumble. 20 years in uniform had drilled evasion into his bones, crawl through dunes, vanish under stars. This was no desert, it was home turf, twisted metal his ally. He killed the lights, coasting into deeper shadows behind a crumpled Chevy carcass. The gold ingot, heavy as regret, sat wedged under the seat, its chill seeping through denim. $367 million worth, hidden in a Wutu relic he'd snagged for pocket change at a rural Ohio auction. Ex-Sergeant Harlan Crow, 52, Black Ops ghost turned auto mechanic, never hunted treasure. Fate had other plans, prying open the tank's rusted cannon after a hunch, gers brushing solid weight. Not scrap, fortune or curse. The intruder's truck crunched gravel closer, beams sweeping like searchlights. Harlan slid low, breath measured. Flashlight beams danced over the tank's hull now, probing the void where gold once slept. "Check the barrel!" a gravelly voice barked. Two men, locals by the twang, Big Mike from the mill, and his weasel cousin Lenny. They'd seen him load the Ford earlier, tongues wagging over beers about that old war machine. Greed spreads faster than rust. Harlan's mind raced grids, exit left through the chain-link gap or double back via the creek bed. Footsteps crunched nearer. Lenny's beam hit the Ford's bumper. Harlan's hand hovered over the ignition. Run now or fight. Military instinct screamed vanish, but the gold whispered stay, claim it all. He eased into reverse, silent as sin, tires kissing mud. "Nothing here but junk," Mike grunted, kicking a fender. Lenny snorted. Crow's rig was loaded funny. Bet he found something prime. Their laughter grated, but Harlan was already gliding away, fog his cloak. The creek loomed ahead, shallow but treacherous. Ford's underbelly scraping stones as he forded it, water hissing protest. No pursuit yet. Heart hammering. He hit solid ground on the far bank, accelerating into pine thickets. Dawn clawed the horizon by the time Harlan reached his trailer on the outskirts of Youngstown. Rust Belt relic, this place, sagging porch, weeds clawing tires. He hauled the ingot inside, stashing it in the floor safe beneath loose boards, old habit from black bag jobs. Coffee brewed black as he paced, maps unrolled. The stash was vast, one bar was proof, the cannon brimmed with more. But whispers would spread, auction buzz already hummed, Crow got a steal. Mike and Lenny were step one, feds or worse could follow if provenance leaked. He needed a plan. Melt it down, offshore vaults, sell quiet through contacts from the service. Ex-Colonel Buddy in Pittsburgh owed him, but trust was a frayed rope. Harlan stared at his reflection in the cracked mirror. Salt-pepper stubble, eyes like spent shells. War had carved him hollow. This gold could fill cracks or shatter him. Greed coiled tighter, visions of escape. No more grease monkey grind, acres in Montana quiet with bourbon sunsets. A knock-shattered reverie, sharp, insistent. Through the blinds, state trooper cruiser, lights off. Harlan's gut knotted. How? He cracked the door, feigning sleep-rumpled calm. "Morning, Officer Reyes. Early for a welfare check." Reyes, mid-40s, badge gleaming, eyed him steady. "Heard about your junkyard score, Crow. Tank from 45, manifest missing. Feds sniff Wuti surplus. Mind if I look around?" Harlan's smile was steel. "Open book, Reyes. Coffee?" Inside, alarms blared. The gold pulsed below foot, a heartbeat of peril. Reyes stepped in, boots thudding deliberate. Harlan poured, mind-charting diversions, spill details vague, steer to war stories. But Reyes lingered by the safe's hidden seam, gaze too sharp. "You served with honors," Reyes said, sipping. "But windfalls draw wolves, folks talking buried halls in that tank. Care to share?" Harlan leaned against the counter, casual thunder. "Just rust and memories, trooper. Cannon was sealed tight, nothing but echoes. Lie smooth as oil." Reyes nodded slow, but suspicion hung thick. As he left, Cruiser fading down the dirt lane, Harlan exhaled. Close, too close. He grabbed the keys, time to retrieve the rest, under cover of day labourers, before vultures circled. But as he fired up the Ford, phone buzzed. Unknown number. We know what's in the barrel, soldier, half or we talk. Mike and Lenny, escalating. Harlan crushed the burner sim, accelerating toward confrontation. If you're hooked on Harlan's high-stakes gamble, smash that like button, subscribe for the twists ahead, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and share with a friend who loves edge-of-your-seat stories. Shadows lengthened as he neared the yard again, resolve hardening like forged steel. The tank waited. Cannon's secret a magnet for ruin. One wrong move, and it all crumbled. Jack's boots crunched over gravel, each step echoing like a countdown. The scrapyard loomed ahead, chain-link fence rattling in the evening breeze. He paused at the gate, eyes scanning the shadows. No lights from the office. Harlan must be gone for the night. Good. Fewer eyes. He slipped through a gap in the fence, heart pounding steady, trained rhythm from years in uniform. The tank squatted in the same corner, its hull a rusted beast under the fading sun. That cannon, barrel aimed skyward like a forgotten accusation, held the fortune that could rewrite his life or end it. Gold bars stacked tight inside, glinting faintly when he'd pried the breech block loose yesterday. $367 million, give or take. Enough to vanish, start over, but whispers spread fast in towns like this. A twig snapped behind him. Jack froze, hand instinctively reaching for a sidearm that wasn't there anymore. He spun, breath shallow, nothing but wind through twisted metal hulks. Paranoia or real? Harlan had eyed him funny this morning, asking too many questions about that old war relic. Had the old man seen something? Jack shook it off, moving faster now. He reached the tank, Jers tracing the cannon seam. Leveraged the crowbar, quiet, precise. Metal groaned softly as the panel shifted. Inside, the dull yellow glow confirmed it. Bars upon bars, heavy as sin. He hefted one, cool weight promising freedom. But voices drifted from the road, truck engines rumbling closer, workers, or worse. Duck low, pulse racing. He wedged the bar back in place, sealing the secret. Not tonight. Needed a plan, not panic. As the vehicles passed without stopping, relief mixed with dread. Who else knew? That buyer from the city yesterday, poking around military surplus. Slick suit, too interested in way 2 gear. Back home, a cramped trailer on the edge of town, Jack paced the dim kitchen. Maps spread on the table, routes out of state, black market fences for gold. His reflection in the window stared back. Lined face. Crew cut gone grey, 20 years in the service, kicked out after an incident in the desert. No pension, no glory, just debts piling like scrap. This D, divine payback, or curse. Phone buzzed, unknown number. He let it ring, gut twisting. Then a text. Heard you scored big at Harlan's. Share the wealth, soldier? Anonymous. How? He'd told no one. Gers flew over keys. Wrong number. Delete. But sleep evaded him, mind replaying contingencies. Extract the gold piece by piece. Risky. Torch the tank. Destroy the dream. Dawn broke grey and relentless. Jack returned to the yard at first light. Cover story ready. Checking his purchase. Harlan was there, wiping grease from hands, squint sharper than usual. Back already. Thought you hauled that junker yesterday. Engine trouble. Jack lied smooth. Need parts. Harlan chuckled, low and knowing. Parts, huh? Or something shinier hiding in that barrel? Jack's blood iced. The old man stepped closer, voice dropping. Saw you poking last night. Cannon's got history. War loot, they say. Folks been hunting it decades. Negotiate, stall. What do you want? Harlan grinned, teeth yellowed. 50-50 split. Or I call in favors. You know how it goes. Jack's mind raced. Former's drill sergeant's calm overlaying rage. Agree now, betray later? Harlan wasn't alone in this game. Word was out. That city suit pulled up then, tires crunching purposeful. Door opened, revealing two more men, builds like linebackers. "Heard there's treasure," the leader said, eyes on the tank. "Uncle Sam wants his cutback." Oh, cornered. Jack assessed. Crowbar by the tank, fence behind, road open. Fight or flight, military math. He edged toward the relic, hand closing on steel. "This is mine, bought fair." Laughter rippled. Harlan shrugged. "Fair's for suckers." Tension coiled like a spring. Jack swung first, crowbar whistling air. It connected with a thud, sending the nearest man sprawling. Chaos erupted. Fists flew. Gravel bit skin. He broke free, diving for the tank's hatch. Inside, cramped darkness, gold pressing close. Engine, no key. Improvise. Gunshots, no. Tires screeching as reinforcements arrived. Harlan's boys? Jack kicked a panel loose, bars tumbling. Grab what he could, two, maybe three. Heavy, but adrenaline surged. Vault out the other side, sprint for the fence. If you're hooked on these edge-of-your-seat discoveries, smash that subscribe button, share with a friend, and drop in the comments where you're watching from. Let's build this community. He cleared the yard, bars slung in a sack, lungs burning. But sirens wailed distant. Pursuit. Roads led to nowhere good. Hide the gold first. Old foxhole from training days, miles out. Bury deep, mark subtle. Then vanish. Plane ticket, fake ID from service contacts. Town shrank in the rear view as he floored the truck. Fortune weighed him down, but so did enemies multiplying. Harlan, the suit. Who next? Feds. The gold's glow faded to burden. One slip, and it all turned to ash. Freedom dangled, threads fraying. Jack gripped the wheel tighter. The hunt was on, for him now. Jack's truck rattled down the back roads of rural Montana, dust clouds swallowing the taillights like ghosts in pursuit. Harlan's rig was out there somewhere, that gravel-voiced scrapper with eyes like sharpened flint. And the suit, crisp collar, federal badge glinting under diner lights, probably coordinating from a black SUV. Jack's knuckles whitened on the wheel. The gold, melted into ingots and crammed into duffels, shifted in the bed under a tarp. $367 million worth. A fortune unearthed from a cannon's rusted belly. One wrong turn, and it became his noose. He veered off pavement onto a forgotten logging trail, pines clawing at the sky like skeletal jaws. The engine growled low, masking his ragged breaths. Paranoia clawed deeper. Had Harlan tailed him from the scrapyard? That $40 tank, a relic from some forgotten war exercise, now a Pandora's vault. Jack had pried open the cannon on a whim, expecting scrap metal. Instead, centuries-old bars tumbled out, stamped with faded mint marks from a bygone era. Smuggler's hoard, wartime stash, didn't matter. It was his now, or was it? Headlights pierced the dusk behind him. Distant, but closing. Jack killed the lights, coasting into shadow, heart hammering. He grabbed the binoculars from the glove box, scanning the rear view. A pickup, jacked high, Harlan's silhouette at the wheel. No mistaking that buzz cut and perpetual scowl. Jack floored it, branches snapping like gunfire. The duffels thudded. Gold gleamed faintly through a tear in the tarp, tempting, treacherous. If this edge-of-your-seat chase has you hooked, smash that subscribe button right now, share with a friend who loves a good treasure hunt, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, Montana, Miami, or halfway across the world. The trail narrowed, forcing Jack into a skid around a fallen log. Harlan's truck surged closer, engine roaring defiance. Jack's mind raced faster than the tires. Sell it piecemeal? Black market fences in Billings? Too risky. Feds trace serial numbers like bloodhounds on a scent. He needed a meltdown spot, anonymous, off-grid. An old army buddy owed him, Russ, holed up in a cabin near the Canadian line. Ex-survivalist, forged in his basement from welding junk. Jack punched the coordinates into his battered GPS. 40 miles, if he made it. Harlan's beams blinded him now, close enough to smell exhaust. A shotgun blast cracked the air, buckshot peppering the tailgate, tarp shredding. Jack swerved, fishtailing into mud. The gold bags tumbled, one spilling bars across the bed, liquid sunlight scattering. He cursed under breath, yanking the wheel. Another shot whined past, embedding in bark. Harlan wasn't playing. That suit had probably promised him a cut, Dare's fee for ratting out the fool who bought the tank. Jack hit a clearing, moon washing the field silver. He gunned across it, truck bouncing like a bronco. Harlan matched pace, veering to ram. Fenders screamed metal on metal. Jack countered, slamming brakes. Harlan overshot, spinning into a ditch. Gears ground, stuck for now. Jack didn't wait. He scooped a loose ingot, heavy promise in his palm, and floored toward the tree line. Dawn crept as he reached Russ's gate, barbed wire and no trespass signs, a grim welcome. The cabin squatted low, smoke curling from the chimney. Jack killed the engine, duffels slung over shoulders. Weight bowed him, but resolve straightened his spine. Russ answered the door, grizzled beard framing suspicion. "Jack? Been years. What's with the ghost act?" "Need your fire," Jack said, voice gravel. "Big melt. Life or ruin." Russ eyed the bags, hefting one, eyes widened. "Christ, where? Doesn't matter. Partners?" A nod, slow. They dragged it inside, furnace roaring to life. Gold softened, reshaped into untraceable bricks. Harlan's truck rumbled distant, freed from mud, hunting smarter now, the suit's network tightening. Feds sniffed auction records. Jack pocketed a sample bar. Test run. Fence in Missoula. Lowball offer first. 50K. Walk away richer, wiser. Scale up slow. No splash. Russ wiped sweat. "This draws wolves, brother. You ready?" Jack stared into flames. Wolves. Harlan's growl. Suit's whisper. Fed's jaws. The glow hardened to steel in his gut. Born ready. By noon, he slipped away in Russ's beater, gold halved and hidden in caches across 3 states. Harlan hit the cabin empty, raging at echoes. The suit traced plates to dead ends. Feds puzzled over a tank manifest, lost in bureaucracy. Jack crossed into Wyoming, burner phone buzzing anonymous bids. First payout wired. Clean. Freedom solidified. Bar by bar, not salvation, strategy. The ex-soldier who'd scavenged battlefields now waged his own war. Shadows against empire, one brick richer. The hunt, it evolved, his move. Hey, if Jack's cunning escape kept you glued, hit like, subscribe for more pulse-pounding tales. Share this with your crew and comment your guess. What's his next play? Jack gripped the wheel of the battered pickup, the tank trailer rattling behind like a chained beast under the midnight sky. Rain slicked the backroads of rural Pennsylvania, turning gravel into a treacherous slide. His pulse thrummed steady. Years in the service had drilled that calm into him. The gold, that impossible fortune crammed into the cannon barrel, weighed heavier on his mind than the steel hulk towing it. $367 million. Not his yet. Not while shadows trailed him. He'd spotted them first at the scrapyard auction, 2 suits pretending to bid on junkers, eyes too sharp for scavengers. By dusk, as he winched the tank onto the trailer for $40, their sedan lingered at the gate. Corporate relic hunters? Government spooks? Didn't matter. Jack had pried open the cannon during the drive home, flashlight beam catching the glint inside. Bars stacked like forgotten promises from some long-lost war convoy. W2 surplus, maybe smuggled and stashed. His hands still itched from the dust. The hunt evolved after his feint at the old mill. He'd staged a breakdown, lights off, faking a tow truck call while slipping into the woods. They bought it, swarming the decoy. Now, his real play. The family farm, 50 miles north, abandoned since Dad passed. No one knew about the root cellar beneath the barn. Perfect vault until dawn. Headlights flickered in the rear view. Closer. Jack punched the gas, mud spraying. Short burst. Breathe. The trailer fishtailed, but he corrected, muscles taut. Long shadows of cornstalks whipped by, whispering secrets. Who were they? The suits radioed ahead. Another car blocked the junction ahead. Pinched, he veered off-road, engine roaring through the field. Bumps jarred his teeth. They followed, beams stabbing the dark. Jack's mind raced scenarios. Ram them? No. Outthink. The creek ford, knee-deep, rocky. His truck could make it. Their sedans? Doubtful. Water surged as he plunged in. Tires gripped, hydroplaned, gripped again. Behind, the first pursuer hesitated, then committed. Splash. Engine whine, then sputter, stuck. The second braked hard, reversing. Jack gunned it up the bank, vanishing into thicker woods. Farm loomed, silo a silent sentinel. He killed the lights, backed the trailer into the barn's shadow. Unhitched quiet, sweat beading despite the chill. Cannon first, muscle and pry bar coaxed it free. Gold gleamed dully, heavier than sin. Down the ladder into the cellar, crate by crate, stacked, tarped, locked with rusted chains. Tank next, camouflaged under hay, looking like any old wreck. Dawn crept grey. Jack brewed coffee in the kitchen, rifle propped casual by the door. No knocks yet. He booted the ancient laptop, tracing serial numbers on the bars. Treasury provenance, unreported Witu payroll, lost in transit, legal claim. Tricky, but salvage rights favored Deers. He'd lawyer up in Philly, anonymous tip line first. Taxes would gut half, but $180 million cleared. Life rebuilt. No more scraping by on vet gigs. Phone buzzed. Burner unknown. We know what you hauled, soldier. Hand it over. Walk away rich. Jack's voice stayed even. Rich how? Your scraps? Laughter, tinny. 10% or we bury you in paperwork. Liens, seizures. He hung up, smashed the phone. Bluff. They had no proof. Yet. Days blurred. Reporters sniffed after the auction story leaked. Vet scores Watu relic. Jack played dumb. Tank for restoration. Suits circled, lawyers probed. He countered with filings. Dare's rights asserted. Assayed samples donated to verify authenticity. Feds swooped, quiet deal struck. Provenance confirmed, no crimes attached. Gold auctioned federally, Jack's cut wired after cuts. $187 million net. Realistic windfall, lawyers skimming 10%. He sold the farm, bought acreage upstate, no mansions. Workshop first, restoring relics, hiring vets. The tank, polished centerpiece. Cannon empty but story etched in plaque. Fortune from rust. Shadows faded. Suits vanished into boardrooms, empty-handed. Jack stood on the porch one crisp fall evening, steam rising from coffee. Horizons stretched endless, burdens lifted not by magic, but grit. He'd outlasted the hunt. His move had won. Hey, if Jack's epic haul and clever outmaneuvering gripped you, smash that like button. Subscribe for more real-life thrillers disguised as tales. Share with your adventure squad and drop a comment. What's the craziest D you've ever scored?